Okay, your personality and your behavioral tendencies are the thing that make you who you are today. We're going to begin looking at the page Discovering Your Personality, where you will find a chart that talks about the 4 different personality types. We will begin with the D. Again, remembering that the dominant personality is usually only about 3% of our population. We nickname these people the powerful people. They are problem-solving people. They are bottom line people. They love to achieve results. They're strong in their personality, and usually they are easy to point out in a crowd. You'll notice that these people share the trait of being outgoing with the inspiring people. These people I like to nickname as the popular people. They are interesting. They're storytellers. They're very interactive in a crowd. And these are the people that when you're at a boring meeting, they're the ones that start playing tic-tac-toe or passing fun notes. They like to make things fun and engaging, and that's their superpower. The inspiring people share the trait of being people-oriented with the supportive and steady personality type. The supportive personality type I like to call the peaceful people because they are very harmonious and they love to preserve relationships and create and make peace within the group. They love to make everyone feel welcome and at home in the group. They're peaceful, harmonious, preserving relationships, and their leadership style is usually very inclusive. You'll notice on that page also that the supportive personality type shares the reserved trait with the cautious. And the cautious people I like to call the perfect people. And not because they are perfect, but because they like things in their environment to be perfect. They're very contemplative. These are your thinkers. They are very calculating. So they like to make careful, cautious decisions, and they love to focus on the facts. So hopefully that after taking the test and listening to some of the more fine details, you've been able to spot yourself in this personality assessment. Opportunities for personal growth are always something that we need to keep top of mind. How can I be better at who I am? In each of these personality types, we will note that there are things that we can always be better at. So if you are the D, the dominant personality type, who is task-driven, who is decisive and outgoing and outspoken, some of the things that you might want to strive to be better at are to maybe listen more attentively to people who are on your team, to be maybe less controlling or domineering. Put more energy into personal relationships because if you will remember, the dominant personality tends to be more task-oriented instead of people-oriented. If you are an I, that interesting, witty, engaging personality type, some of the things that you may want to consider are to weigh the pros and cons before you make decisions and maybe be less impulsive. Remember to help more with the task because if you remember, the influential people tend to be more people-oriented and not task. In the S personality, which is the steady personality, some things that you may want to consider is to be more direct in your interactions. These peaceful, harmonious people don't necessarily like conflict. Other items to consider would be to deal with constructive criticism more constructively and to try to show more initiative. The final one is the C, which is our compliant, which are people who are very facts-oriented, task-driven, goal-oriented, and introverted. Some of the things they may want to consider are to concentrate on doing the right thing and not just doing things right. Other items are to be more decisive in task, focusing more on task and more on people. And that is your personality assessment. Discovering our spiritual gifts would be the next item up ahead. We all have our spiritual giftings, thankfully, and God wants to use those gifts that He has given us for a specific purpose within the kingdom. You'll notice that while with the personality assessment, we were shaped and molded by our experiences and the people around us, the spiritual gifts are given to us by God for us to use for His kingdom. We will begin our next assessment, and you will answer it in almost the same way that you answered the previous test for personality, answering 1 for almost never and 5 for almost always. Again, go with your first response and don't try to talk yourself out of your answer. The test is a little bit longer than the first one. There will be 72 questions, and this is for you. You don't have to share this with anyone else, but it's an important test for you to determine what are the spiritual giftings that God has given you to use within His kingdom. And you may begin now.